extras because I didn't have enough diaper supplies for my kids. I've never had to water down their formula because I didn't know if my supply would last the rest of the month because I didn't have enough to access more at WIC. I've never had to put my baby to sleep on a yoga mat because I didn't have a safe place for them to sleep. But unfortunately, that's the reality of a lot of the families that we serve at WeCycle and the reason why we exist. So WeCycle's mission is to connect essential baby gear and match it to Colorado families in need. We envision a time when all of Colorado infants and toddlers have their basic needs met and can thrive. So we do that through a variety of programming. So through our essential gear program, we have what's called our partner orders. Through our partner orders, we collect gently used baby gear donations in kind from the community. So it's families that have car seats and strollers and clothing and pack and plays and all of those super essential items that kids need between the ages of 0 and 3 that are also very expensive. We collect that in kind from the community at our warehouse and then provide those items through a network of partner organizations. Those partners are other nonprofits that are able to have caseworkers and social workers that meet with families, find out exactly what their needs are, and then they place orders through us every week. The cool part about this program is that it's not a one-size-fits-all model. Every family can request exactly what they need when they need it, instead of saying you just get this bulk blanket piece of programming, basically. During COVID, a lot of our partners weren't operating, but we knew that what we were providing the community was needed more than ever. So we launched a mobile direct service program called our Mobile Baby Essentials Distribution Events. That is where we go into targeted underserved neighborhoods and pass out diapers, wipes, baby food, and formula directly to families alongside food banks. We do these markets 2 to 4 days a week, and we serve around 350 to 400 kids per market. So that's a lot of kiddos, and they keep growing. WeCycle also launched a diaper bank program in 2018. For those of you on the call that don't know, WIC and food stamps don't provide diapers in their scope of services, yet childcare facilities, especially state-funded childcare facilities, require a supply of diapers for kids to attend. And so if families are not able to provide those diapers, they end up missing work, they miss education, and you can see how such a simple item can spiral you into the cycle of poverty. And that just leads me a little bit into the partnership that we're excited to talk about today. So WeCycle has been working with the CCAA on a grant, or worked on a grant that provided federal dollars to the state of Colorado to support diaper services. And it's so incredibly important because all of the diaper banks across the state of Colorado are distributing millions of diapers. WeCycle distributed 6.1 million diapers last year, but we're still only scraping the surface of the need. And so it's pretty incredible that we're able to expand this programming to encompass more of the rural areas and to really just build out these partnerships and create efficient pipelines across the state for ensuring that infants and toddlers have their needs met. And we'll see if this video plays. Got a quick little video for you.
I don't think we have audio.
No audio? Can anyone hear it? No, shoot.
Sometimes you can select, like on the tab, like right click and share tab sound, or a setting on your share screen. Or
You would think by now, with all of this Zoom presenting, we'd have this figured out, but I don't. Let's try now.
On the share screen bit, if you click the little the button itself, it should give you several options. One of those you should be able to click share audio. I believe that you have to share the visual and the audio separately, if that makes sense. So there should be something to click.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll just have to send this out via email afterwards. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. Um, so after talking through some of our programming, a lot of the times the question is, how can I get more involved with WeCycle? And so volunteering is one way. We are always looking for volunteers to come to our warehouse to help with various activities. The fact that we take in-kind donations, it means there's a lot of sorting and cleaning and inventorying to ensure that it's ready for distribution to families. We also are always looking for community members to do essential gear drives. We have a lot of high need items that we just cannot keep enough of in stock. And so we seek out community members that are willing to do drives through their church, their school, their preschool, things like that. Host a gear drive where you generally, it works best if you select a business. A kid serving business is even better. And then our bus or our van can come and folks can bring their donations of those gently used gear items. And then donating funds, obviously being a nonprofit, having donations to operate off of is super important. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then from there, does anybody have any questions or anything like that for me?
Hey, Lindsay,
right.
it's Josiah over at the CCAA. I know we're going to talk a little bit about the diaper distribution pilot grant that we're partnering with WeCycle on with the Administration for Children and Families Office of Community Services, which is the federal office that our folks work with the Community Services Block Grant, CSBG. Did you want to talk at all about the kind of broad approach that we're hoping to take with this program? Mostly the distribution part, not so much the evaluation part, because we can dig into that as we go along. But I know a lot of folks on the call today and some that'll be viewing the recording are in the areas that we really want to target. So if you want to just briefly touch upon that at all, you feel welcome. If not, we can cover a little bit in our part as well.
Yeah, thank you. So within the RFP, we stated that WeCycle and the CAA will create 2 distribution hubs, one in Southeast Colorado, one in Northwest Colorado, and then be able to use those hubs to distribute to those corners of the state. And so what we need, and I know that our program director is already on it, there's been talks of some warehousing space down in Pueblo that would potentially even be free. But as soon as we get our distribution hubs established in each of those regions, we would like to connect with partners that would be able to pick up supplies. So we would drop ship diapering supplies directly to those hubs, and then we would rely on partner organizations from those areas to come pick up diapering supplies for the communities they serve and distribute, and then also report back to us. So there is reporting that's necessary in terms of how many children are being served. We provide 50 diapers and 1 package of wipes per child per distribution. Sometimes if it's super, super rural, we'll be able to negotiate what those numbers look like because we know it's not possible for them to be served every couple of weeks or every month. But yes, we are looking to build out those partnerships in rural areas around Colorado. So if you are from one of those areas, if you have a partner in one of those areas, we would love for you to reach out to WeCycle so we can begin the conversations.
So exciting. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you.
I see we have a question in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have a question from, is it Michelle or Mitchell? Do you serve Mesa County?
It's from me, Michelle, for Lindsay.
Great. Sorry, Michelle.
And I'm just curious if you serve Mesa County.
So we have served Mesa County, but we're definitely looking to build out additional partnerships. So if you would be interested, I'm gonna put WeCycle's program director's email in the chat because that would be the best person to reach out to for partnerships.
And I think we'll get into this more when we discuss the program and as we go along, but this is the Colorado CSBG Network's opportunity to definitely partner in this program and grow these resources. So I think if you are wanting to get in more touch, feel free to reach out to WeCycle, as Lindsay said, and of course, reach out to us at CCAA. Abigail Smith is going to be leading it on our end as well. See a nice note in the chat as well, Lindsay, about Sam out there in Canyon City using WeCycle in the past. Real impactful.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. And you are welcome to hang out with us for our call. You are also welcome to, head out or, disappear in the middle, whatever your preference is. We are so thankful to have you share the information that you did today. Thank you. Moving forward, some things from the DOLA side of things. The American Customer Satisfaction Index, the ACSI, will be ideally coming out sometime this month. They were expecting it to open on October 7th, and they did have to postpone that. The actual launch date is to be determined. It's a great opportunity for all of you as eligible entities to provide feedback on how state of Colorado is doing on CSBG. And our goal is 100% participation and genuine, letting us know how things are going, how things could be better, and everything like that. So expect emails to come out about that. And thank you so much for your time on doing that. I know locally we will have a training and technical assistance survey also going out soon for Colorado CSBG and what you all are needing for the coming year. Continuing resolution was passed recently. It does extend the 200% federal poverty level through December 20th of this year, which is really awesome and exciting to see that 200% level continue. The challenges might be another year of continuing resolutions, which means a little less predictability on when the federal fiscal year 25 CSBG funds are going to be distributed for all of us. We expect it to be flat funding. So as you're looking at budgets and planning for next year, just using your amounts that you saw for 2024. And that amount is on our website. If you have questions about what your entity had for 2024, always feel free to reach out as well. And I've been bugging everybody. I don't have any estimated dates on when that first federal fiscal year 25 funding will come out. If I hear anything, I will let you all know. Some other updates at the national level, the uniform guidance has some updates that are effective October 1st. I'm glad I have October 2nd in there. It's a reading test for everybody. One of the important parts around that is that the de minimis rate can go up to 15%. And this is effective on new contracts. So it would be the 27 to 29 year. If this is something your eligible entity is interested in doing sooner than that, that is a possibility as well. It's an amendment process. And so the eligible entity would send a letter by email to me to start the process. It will take some time. An effective date would be when the comptroller signs it. It's a bilateral agreement for an amendment change. So everybody would sign it, eligible entities, as well as the DOLA contracting team and myself. And then just if you do change in the middle of the contract cycle, it's important to be aware of what expenses would be at that previous de minimis rate and what expenses would be at the new rate. They also are updating the subrecipiency amount that can go towards de minimis will go up to 50,000 instead of the 25,000, which is awesome. And the latest late breaking news is that HHS is going to adopt the uniform guidance changes, the 2 CFR Part 200, which will help eliminate some of the minor nuances that we see from the 45 CFR Part 75. And if you have no idea what all of those letters and numbers mean, that is okay. We'll keep you posted with information or changes that need to happen on your end. For federal fiscal year 25, as we're speaking about the future and stuff, we've got budgets and the cost allocation plan. They're both going to be due November 22nd. And the slide presentation will get sent out. There's a link to the budget form, and that budget form gets emailed back to Harold and myself. And the total 24 total allocation, there's a link to that as best estimate for 2025. Cost allocation plans is definitely a complex and fun topic. It's unique to each eligible entity. Definitely reach out if you have questions about this. Some folks have one going, some it might be part of your county, it might be something brand new, and we are happy to support you with training and technical assistance around cost allocation plans. As we find awesome resources, we will share those as well. Yeah, so as I was just talking even onto this, cost allocation plan is basically the what you're allocating the cost to and the why, so that somebody coming in can understand what indirect costs are being charged to CSBG, and whether that's through a cost allocation plan, through the de minimis, or with a federally negotiated rate. The cost allocation plan just helps explain what's going on with that. So, any questions at the moment about any of the things I've talked about?
Hey Becky, Josiah here. I just threw up the Cap Law Cost Allocation Toolkit, which is a really great resource. They have some other resources specific around the recent OMB uniform guidance changes. So Cap Law is certainly a great resource, and then us at the CCAA can help think through some of the intricacies of a cost allocation plan.
Thank you so much, Josiah. I appreciate that, and I am going to turn it over to you, NCCA.
Wonderful. So I am going to share my screen, but real quickly, one of the things that came up between us finalizing our agenda today, and of course the call that we're having right now, is that our partners over at the Office of Community Services have released a new 30-day comment period for proposed changes to the CSBG annual report. Thinking back to the springtime, they had proposed some pretty significant across the board changes to our annual report. And through a 60-day comment process, they kind of took a step back and said they were going to do another revision and then release it again for more public comments. So we are within that 30-day public comment period now. Encourage you all to go to the Dear Colleague letter, which has the PDF of the changes that they're proposing in there. Again, some significant changes to how we would report not only the services, but also the outcomes and the impact of our program. It is a quick turnaround, 30 days, obviously. Luckily, we went through this process not too long ago, so hopefully everybody's pretty fresh on what our current report is. And once you look at their proposed changes, you can compare the two and decide, what kind of comment you might want to make. So certainly the CCAA will be providing comment. We're participating on the National Community Action Partnerships work group around a national response and a network response through the partnership. So we'll be talking more about this as applicable and appropriate as we move forward. So just wanted to take a minute to talk about that as well. Any questions on the OCS annual report revision? Proposed revisions. Great. Well, we'll jump into our slides. We'll make these available through our partners at DOLA after the meeting. First thing we wanted to do was a big celebration around the CCAA being awarded the Federal Diaper Distribution Demonstration and Research Pilot. It's the 4th cohort. Those of you that have been around for a little bit will know that we've been talking about doing this for at least a year. And we're really excited that we've been awarded roughly $1.2 million over the next 2 years to help roll out more resources, more opportunity throughout Colorado around diapers and those types of necessities. Big shout out to CCAA staff members Liz Espinoza and Abigail Smith, who are both on this call, for partnering with WeCycle and getting everything together for an excellent application. We're really fortunate to be amongst a small group of states that are in this cohort, and a small group of states that have been in all 4 cohorts. There's a lot of assistance that's going to be offered through the Federal Office of Community Services on this pilot grant. So we're going to be meeting with those folks regularly amongst the cohort and the previous 3 cohorts. I think the big thank you out to Abigail and Liz for sure. The main point that I wanted to get across for this meeting as we start to kick this off is, again, a big thank you to our partners at WeCycle for partnering on this project. We're going to be working through you folks, as well as other coalitions, community groups across Colorado. But if you look at the purpose of the DDDRP, as the acronym is, it's to evaluate the ability of community action agencies, and all of you all are considered community action agencies, whether you're considered a public community action program like all the counties, or a 501c3 nonprofit community action agency, as you're known. So all of you all, other social services agencies and other community-based organizations, to provide diapers and diapering supplies on a consistent basis through a diaper distribution program while offering other support services. What I read here is that the federal government is strongly considering making some type of a regular diaper distribution program, a part of the federal approach to alleviating poverty and conditions of poverty. So this is a real opportunity for us to prove that, growing the resources around the diaper distribution in our state, as well as making sure those families are connected to other resources and assistance services in the community, so that when the time comes, we can make a good argument for continuing this type of resource. And Abigail and I met with our partners at OCS this morning, and one of the things I took away from our meeting is that this is very much a demonstration grant. So there's going to be some, as Lindsay mentioned, there's going to be an evaluation that's going to be done under this, and it's really to prove that this distribution program has a very meaningful impact and should be a part of the regular approach to alleviating poverty. So very excited to roll this out over the next couple of months, really get into the growing of the resources in 2025 all the way through 2026. Abigail, Liz, anything to add to what I just mentioned?
I don't have anything to add.
I don't have anything either. Just a reminder, if anyone wants to connect and be a part of the program, please feel free to. I know Lindsay provided an email address, but either me or any of us at CCA, we'd love to connect you to this program.
Absolutely. Thanks, both of you. And yeah, I think one of the things we've heard over the last year as we've looked at this is some of you have reached out to us about it. So please do send an email out to Abigail, especially if you're looking to get connected to this project specifically, and we'd love to talk to you. Okay, next up we have the Training and Technical Assistance Survey. Becky mentioned this briefly during the DOLA updates, but we are going to be sending out a link to a survey here shortly, where we're asking for you all to identify areas of training and technical assistance that we should prioritize this upcoming year. We'll use this both for the training and technical assistance plan that we put together for the Federal Office of Community Services, and also some of this input will be used in the DOLA state plan that is going to be due next September. So we'll be releasing this probably over the next couple of days. We ask that each eligible entity, complete one survey broadly, considering your staff, your tripartite board, your subrecipient, recipients, your local needs kind of collectively, and then complete the survey from that type of a lens. It's a pretty broad survey. It goes through a bunch of different categories such as leadership, community needs assessments, services, programs, tripartite board and governance. So really anything and everything you could think of as a something that we might want to touch on in training and technical assistance, we'll ask you a little bit about. It should take roughly about 40 minutes to complete. So we ask you to complete it when you have some time to sit down and really go through the various questions. You can go through and print out the entire survey ahead of time so that you could see what is being asked of you and consider it with your staff and partners if you'd like. And it'll be due on Friday, November 8th. We'd love to get 100% response rate. And again, we will use this to really drive our training and technical assistance priorities for the next 1.5 to 2 years. Next up, I know that you all are really anticipating getting together to project out what we're going to be doing in the program year 2025, which will start on January 1st. So we are starting to look at creating those activities, services and strategies and outcome indicators, worksheets that we do every year prior to the start of the program period. We'll send out an email today or tomorrow to you all with this information and ask you all to send us an email, let us know some good times for you to schedule a meeting to go through and project out what we're going to be accomplishing with the CSBG funds specifically and those connected activities to CSBG in the program year 2025. This is a part of the Roma cycle where we take time before we start the program to project out what our successes are going to be and develop some target counts. So the outcome counts that we create during this process will be used for your 2025 annual report for the target numbers that you report around. So a very important process. There will be some resources around what are the various community level activities and family level activities that we look to project around and create these activity sheets around in the email. And we'll be sending that out shortly. And we'll schedule a meeting, half an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the size of your program and generally how much we have to talk about. And we'll get those scheduled through the end of the year to ensure we have at least a draft down before the start of the program period. Again, a best practice under Roma. And then you will have an opportunity to do a one-time revision to any of the projections or activities around March after you've completed your annual report for 2024 and you've had some time to analyze what you saw in the program, the results you achieved, and if you need to change any of your projections or your activities, we can take that opportunity at that point in time. Any questions on the program year 2025 projections? Hey, real quickly, just wanted to touch base with you all on some important things that the CCA is going to be doing over the next year. Specific to direct services. If you read our strategic plan from 2023, which is on our website, you'll notice that we are really looking to use our unique reach and how we are structured across the state and how we can work as a pass-through and a lead on various things to do direct services throughout the state, specific though to rural areas. And so I know you all are pretty familiar with the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program that we do every year, our VITA program, where we partner with local sites and VITA site coordinators and IRS certified tax preparers to roll out free tax preparation for rural and low-income Coloradans. We just received word last week from the IRS that we received a grant for 2025 to continue that work. So we're real excited and we'll be planning that out as we move forward through the end of the year. I think you all have heard that the CCA has been selected as the balance of state to provide CSBG direct services and strategies as an eligible entity to counties that historically have been difficult to serve by an eligible entity. And so we're really starting to get into that process with the 8 counties that we're currently serving, which is Montrose, Ouray, San Miguel, Moffett, Routt County, Las Animas, and Warfano County. And the first step in that process, as you all know, is going through a pretty complete and thorough needs assessment, including analyzing qualitative and quantitative data for those service areas, and then coming up with a community action plan. So that's what we're doing right now, specific to rolling out services, and we hope to start serving those counties early in 2025 directly with the CSBG funds. Another thing that we're hoping to continue to develop and roll out is digital equity and digital navigation. There's a lot of resources around this, both infrastructure-wise, but also around getting households and families connected to the internet and getting them the proper equipment to be able to properly utilize the internet. So we're hoping to be talking more and more about digital equity and digital navigation. There is quite a bit of funding through the form of competitive grants nationally, which just closed, and we know there were at least 3 or 4 applications from Colorado to do digital equity work and digital navigation through a federal grant. We at the CCAA partnered with the other Region 8 state associations, the Montana, Utah, Wyoming, and the Dakotas. And Wyoming led us in an application to do digital equity and navigation through 2026. So we hope to hear word of that in early 2025. And then through the CDLE in Colorado, the Department of Labor and Employment, and their Office of Future Work, there is going to be a capacity building grant that comes out soon that is really geared towards creating local coalitions that can address digital equity locally. And this is really going to be local coalitions that can connect the various things going on around digital equity and navigation, whether it be continuing to build out broadband infrastructure within a community, including the last mile access of broadband, which is incredibly important, especially in rural areas, to getting digital navigators out in the communities, to getting equipment to households that are eligible under the program. So that's something that I think is applicable to everybody, especially you of those of you that are in the rural areas. As that Office of Future Work Digital Equity Capacity Grant comes out, please do send that on to any coalitions that are working on digital equity. And I am going to ask you to take it a step further. And we are trying to identify all the coalitions across the state, again, especially in rural areas, that have a coalition that is currently working on digital equity. So if you know of a local group of folks that is working on digital equity in your area, if you wouldn't mind, just send me a quick email and let me know who they are. You don't even have to necessarily connect me with them right now. We're trying to gather a good understanding of where some of these coalitions currently exist throughout the state. Or on the other side of the coin, if you know that nothing like that exists in your community and you think your community might be interested and or positioned to do something like that, now is a good time to start planning so that as that capacity grant comes out, your community is in a position where you can apply and hopefully bring those resources to your community. So a lot going on around digital equity and digital navigation. And then, of course, the diaper distribution demonstration or research pilot, which we're really excited to be participating in. So a lot going on outside of training and technical assistance within the CCA's walls. Encourage you all to be members if you haven't already for the current program year, which started on July 1st. Membership is so important to us to show that we do have buy-in from you all as an association. And it's also extremely helpful for us to be able to show our regional and national and federal partners that we have strong membership within our eligible entity network in Colorado. So if there's anything we can do to help you become members, please reach out to us. Should be an eligible activity under all of your contracts with DOLA. So should be an allowable expense off the bat. And we are able to accept membership dues in a variety of ways, including a check. So if you'd like us to get you an invoice that you can pay off of, just let us know. So if you're unsure if you're a member currently, I would send an email to me, or you can reach out, look at our website, and it has a current list of our members that are in good standing. So appreciate everybody's support on that. We are so excited to start talking about the 2025 Colorado Community Action Conference. It's going to be taking place Wednesday, July 16th through Friday morning of July 18th, 2025, next summer at the Embassy Suites in Loveland, Colorado. A wonderful facility that's going to do really well for our needs. We're hoping to have 100 to 150 individuals from across Region 8 attending our conference over the 2.5 days. We haven't exactly planned out the program yet, but we know that we'll be offering networking events. We'll have some great keynote speakers from the state, regionally, nationally. We'll invite our national partners to come and give an update. And we'll be offering a ton of engagement opportunities throughout the week. My favorite event every time we do the conference, the Community Action Family Night, we'll be planning a special event for that Thursday night, and all will be welcome. And then, of course, a strong closing for that Friday morning, and we'll welcome you all to then hopefully enjoy maybe a long weekend in Loveland or the surrounding area. Scholarships will be available for this. We are also going to be offering this as a hybrid event and offering it up to the entire Region 8. So again, Wyoming, Utah, Montana, and the Dakotas to be able to attend in person and through a video conference that we're going to be setting up. So we're obviously hoping that we get a lot of people in person. I think in person is always a great way to get different things out of a conference. But for those that aren't able to attend in person, we'll also have a remote opportunity for you all to participate in this conference. So stay tuned, more information coming. We're also going to be putting together a group of stakeholders to start planning out the details of the conference, including the program specifically, begin working on that family night, begin looking at what is the best way to get engagement opportunities in the conference. And if any of you are interested in participating on that, we'll be meeting via Zoom occasionally through probably the conference date in July, starting next month. So if anybody would like to be a part of that planning committee, please send me an email and we'll get you on that list and we'll start talking to you about meeting. And here's a nice little visual that you can share. See the Loveland heart there. Great, great picture. And again, looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible in person, July 15th through the 18th in Loveland. And we do have scholarship funds available. We'll have scholarship funds available to help your local stakeholders, tripartite board members, subrecipient partners, community-based partners to attend. So keep that in mind as you move forward. Real quickly, just want to talk about the upcoming national conferences and our Roma trainings. One of the best conferences every year, the Partnerships Management and Leadership Training Conference, is going to be January 29th through the 31st in New Orleans. Always a really great conference, especially for those that are in leadership positions, management positions within community action. Our state membership organization that really supports the state offices like DOLA at the National Association for State Community Services Programs, also known as NASCASP, is doing their winter conference February 3rd through 7th in Arlington, Virginia. I always say that this is a great conference to go to if you want to understand what OCS is really working on and what OCS is probably going to be proposing to our network coming down the pipeline in the future. OCS works really closely with the NASCASP, obviously being the main partner of the state offices. So we always get a lot from OCS at those conferences. CAPLA's doing their annual conference May 28th through 30th in Boston, Massachusetts. CAPLA is a wonderful technical resource. And again, when I think about uniform guidance, they're probably one of the best resources. And they have a ton on cost allocation, as well as HR and legal issues. So that's always a wonderful conference. And then we do have some Roma trainings already scheduled here coming up. There's a virtual training at the end of November through early December. That registration is now full. We will be scheduling another virtual training probably for December, January timeframes. So look for that. And then we are doing an in-person full-day training in Boulder on November 21st, which is a Thursday. It's going to be roughly a 9 to 4:30 training day with the lunch included. I think we have some room in that in-person in Boulder. I know there's quite a few of you actually signed up from across the state to travel to Boulder to attend. We're really excited. I'm really excited to have Rand Clark with Douglas County, my fellow nationally certified Roma trainer, to be co-presenting that day in Boulder. So we're really excited about that. As always, if you're interested in bringing Roma training to your community, your agency, your partners, whether it's virtual or in person, reach out and we can get that scheduled. And then just a friendly reminder to please do consider us for any capacity building or professional development needs that we can support within your local partnerships and networks. We really look to support attendance, obviously, at our statewide conference, also those national conferences that we just talked about, and then the national certifications in our network, the Roma Certified Trainer, Roma Certified Implementer, and then the Certified Community Action Professional, or CCAP. And we can do that and many more opportunities around our scholarship application. So reach out if we can support you in any way. And with that, I think that's all we have on our side, Becky.
Thank you very much, Josiah. I appreciate that. Something I forgot to mention out loud, the option letters for the very, very last little bit of fiscal year 24 funds are starting to go through contracts. So you all should see that posting in the grants portal with those itty bitty amounts. I will probably send an updated 24 total, like when we send the email out, just so you know like what your full 24 funds were. And then wanted to invite Harold, if you have anything for the meeting today.
Hello. Yeah, just only one thing. We are kind of building out our contacts, making sure that everything is up to date. I'm going to be sending an email pretty soon, just giving you the option to update anything or add new people. And there will be a link to that. It's pretty simple, but it helps us out a lot. So thank you.
Thank you, Harold. Any questions about anything at the moment? Great. Well, if you think of questions or would like to ask them one-on-one, certainly feel free to follow up with any one of us. We are so happy to be working with each of you and all that you do for your communities, and we're so grateful on helping reduce and eliminate those causes and conditions of poverty in Colorado. We could not do this without all of you and are very grateful for your time. Yeah, we'll give you back 14 whole minutes and hope you all have an amazing week.
Thank you, DOLA partners. Thank you, everybody in the